Comparing and Contrasting Cinderella by Christina Lapsker, EDUC 611, Fall 2016 Final Project. Lesson Objectives. Students will compare and contrast their country's version of Cinderella to the Cinderella by Charles Perrault. Students will research music, plays, ballet, and artwork that contains Cinderella in their assigned country. Students will research artwork expressing Cinderella, architecture, weather, and era, and students will research specific countries and identify important characteristics of the country. The lesson objective in collaborative learning. Students will compare and contrast their country's version of Cinderella to Cinderella by Charles Perrault. Collaborative note-taking, a collaborative concept map, and a collaborative final presentation will be created. For the note-taking, students will use Digo and Wikispace. For the concept map, they will use MindMeister, and for the final project, they will use Prezi. The process. As a whole group, we will read France's version of Cinderella by Charles Perrault, focusing on the architecture, era, and weather, what is the country's primary language, their flag, and other important information, and does France depict Cinderella in other artistic ways, such as plays, ballet, opera, and artwork. Students will then be placed in a small group and assigned a specific country, where they will read that country's version of Cinderella, focusing on all the same criteria that we focused on as a whole group. The whole group will focus on Cinderella by Charles Perrault. Who are the characters? What is the setting? All about France and expressions of art. They will then go into their small group for their assigned country and look at the characters of the story, the setting, all about the assigned country, and expressions of art that include Cinderella. This will lead to the final comparison, where they will compare the two countries, the two different versions of the story, the characters in the setting, and the different expressions of art. I will be utilizing 4 uses of social media. Students will use Digo to bookmark and research their information. Students will write notes on their Wikispace comparing and contrasting the stories of Cinderella and their assigned country. Students will therefore create a concept map to highlight the important information from the previous step, and then students will create a Prezi for their final project. All the uses of these online collaborative tools throughout the entire project, both as a whole group and a small group, researching and keeping notes in Digo and Wikispace at their leisure, creating a concept map on MindMeister using all the information from the previous step, and then Wikispace will keep their information organized, using Prezi with all the information gathered from the previous, using all the information from the previous step will allow them to organize how they want to complete their final project. Finally, they will create the online presentation using Prezi with all the information gathered from the previous 2 steps of using Digo, Wikispace, and MindMeister. Assessing the students. I will be assessing the students throughout each and every step. I will be monitoring the group's Digo. Are they adding useful information? What else can they add? I will be monitoring their Wikispace by also adding questions and confirming that they are focusing on the information that is most important for their final project. I will also monitor their MindMeister because I want to make sure that they are gathering the information from the previous step and putting it into an orderly manner. So that way when they go to create their final project on Prezi, it will all be there from the previous 3 steps. How does this enhance the lesson? Well, this allows the students to become creative. It allows the students to collaborate and cooperate together. And it reinforces the importance of engagement and participation from all of the students. Technology allows the students to share their information on their own time. They can also add to their peers' information. It allows me, the teacher, to monitor and guide and hold them accountable for their own learning, and the information from all parties is easily locatable and accessible. According to Cornell University Center for Teaching Excellence, collaborative learning group work enables the students to have deeper learning because it encompasses social aspects, active, more engaging, contextual, they are more engaged. The information is contextual. This will help the students become leaders, led because they are locating their own information and help them learn diverse perspectives from their peers. Preparing the students today for tomorrow. According to Common Sense Education's blog, today's employers say the capacity to collaborate to solve problems is going to be even more important for tomorrow's workers than content knowledge. And a recent study shows employers are looking for people who can work effectively in teams. Collaborative online learning allows students to prepare for the workforce, which will be ahead of them, and to learn to work together as a team instead of individually. I will begin by teaching each small enough all of the students. You do not want to use a large group wiki space in mind might become overwhelmed the whole group lesson. You need to teach. This will allow me to model what you want them to learn. How you need to teach them use them, and it will allow them to practice how to use them. You need to model how to use all of these for their small tools effectively. Since I've already taught them how to use each one, and I've already modeled it, they will continue to get more practice while I continue to monitor and hold them accountable for their information. All the pieces of this equal the final project, from the lesson objective to the online collaboration to choosing the correct social media tools to creating the right amount of people in the group, will all link to the final outcome of the students being able to display their knowledge of the lesson for which they have learned from.